Bulletcast for life.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to a very special episode of Into the Stratusphere. I'm your girl, Cindy G. And yeah, y'all, it's 4 o'clock in the morning by the time of the recording of the podcast here in the West Coast, because there's a lot to cover for this special episode. That is right, from the description is the recap of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle Finals at Jingu Stadium. I'm very excited to give you guys the recap and some of my thoughts of each of the matches, coming from a female perspective. But hey, it's all good. I know I'm going to be talking a little bit about like other topics, but that's going to be saved for the regular schedule of Into the Stratusphere, because mainly this is going to be just the recap and thoughts podcast of this event. So before I get into everything, I'm going to give you guys my social media plug and the Bulletcast social media plugs. So you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and on my YouTube channel at simply_C_OK. That's SIMPLY_C_OK. And make sure to follow the Bulletcast on every social media platform and also on the podcast platform, which is on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor FM, or anywhere else you can find. And that's the Bulletcast, or Bulletcast, if you can find on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTube channel. All right, guys, so the plug is done. But again, before with the recap, I just wanted to give you guys my brief sadness of the news that everybody already know, and especially yours truly. I'm still, loss for words. So last night on social media, actor Chadwick Boseman, known for playing the Black Panther, passed away at the age of 42 from a 4-year battle of colon cancer, and that really devastating everybody, including yours truly. Black Panther is my favorite movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also my favorite hero in the Marvel comic series and the movie series, which Black Panther is like the biggest icon for everybody, especially for the African American demographic, pretty much for everybody too. And not only Chadwick Boseman is an actor for the Black Panther, but he also did movies like Get On Up, to Marshall, to 42, Draft Day, and the list goes on and on. And I did not know that like he was battling cancer, but I know that he just wanted to keep it private so that we can continue on to, work his movie roles, even though like he was suffering from an illness for so many years. But this man has the drive. He was an inspiration for everybody. So my condolences goes out to his wife, his friends, his family, and fans. May he rest in peace. Wakanda forever. Anyway, you guys, that is enough of this sad news, but let's go ahead and go to the positive, which is going to be the recap of New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle Finals. So it took place tonight at Jingu Stadium in Tokyo, Japan, and I must say it was a very well put presentation. I was impressed with the venue. Social distancing still enforced, even though I feel that like they should just spread out like separate rows. But I know they can modify it like a little bit different, but that's just me. Everybody's wearing masks, that's good. And then disinfection like during intermission, everything that is like well put together. And I'm so happy that now we finally have a live English commentary, but instead of like waiting a couple days for like the English commentary to be on demand in New Japan World. So that is actually like much more easier for me to focus on the match while commentaries aside, and especially like different of the moveset from each of the wrestlers. So for the commentators for the English portion of it is Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton, which Kevin Kelly is still here in the United States and Chris Charlton is still in Japan, but in his home. I can understand with the whole COVID situation. And for the Japanese commentary you have is Milano and Miki Motoi, which she is a notable meteorologist and a TV presenter in Japan. So I only listen to mostly the English commentator side, so it's just more easier for me to understand. So I'm happy that it's now back since New Japan came back in June, but there was no commentator. But the exception we have for the commentator was for the New Japan Pro Wrestling US show. So, and plus I'll be covering the recap of the Fighting Spirit Unleashed, like on the next episode of Into the Stratusphere, along with the recap of Impact Wrestling, and also like my AEW Heels experience from last night. So just wanted to let y'all know, because this is going to be mainly the recap for the Summer Struggle Finals at Jingu Stadium. Anyway, you guys, so let's go ahead and kick off with the opening of the match, which is Master Wato with Hiroshi Tenzan versus, representing Suzuki-gun, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And before I go into that, please keep in mind, again, I'm going to say it over again, I'm trying my best to pronounce some of the wrestlers' first and last name, so please bear with me on it, alright? So, anyway, so the match itself was pretty good to the extent, great opening of the match. You have its master, the way of the Grandmaster versus the heel master, and you have this feud going on for quite a while now. So it was starting off like kind of like a good attack from both guys, and then you have Kanemaru with a double chin lock hold until Wato did escape, and that's when Wato did the corkscrew dive, and then there's a lot of like back and forth going on. You can see like the animosity that Wato wanted to get revenge from what Kanemaru did, especially striking him with a bottle of whiskey, which now we all know he preferred the whiskey. It's not rum. It's not like any other hard liquor. It's just straight up whiskey. And I wonder which brand Kanemaru likes, but I'm a Jack Daniels girl, so digress. Anyway, so Kanemaru with the moonsault, but then Wato did just kind of like dodge it. And then that's when he did his usual martial art moves, like he did the kick on Kanemaru's elbow and then the midway. So pretty much it was like a lot of like martial arts back and forth action with Wato, and that was like pretty like impressed because of his gimmick, like as the Grand Master, of course, since his debut like back in June during the New Japan Cup. So Kanemaru grabbed the bottle of whiskey, and so Wato did just like shove it down, and that's when Wato did the press kick. And then once when Wato did a couple of his strike, and then he did the face buster for a 2 count, and then Kanemaru surprisingly did a roll up and score a victory. So it was a pretty good match, but I was having mixed feelings about Kanemaru's finisher at the end, like with just a simple roll up and pick up a victory for it. I was expecting Wato to get the W because I feel that should be the ending of his feud with Kanemaru. But with the whole logic of it, I feel that Wato's next rivalry would be someone in the member of Suzuki-gun. Because, like, face it, his first rival was with El Desperado, and then with Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And what's next? Like, are we going to be seeing, like, a singles action either with Taichi or Zack Sabre Jr., or possibly Minoru Suzuki, which I'm going to get into that later on. But as of now, I can understand, like, with the logic of it. But also another theory is that, Master Wato just debuted like back in June, and I know he's trying to establish himself, and plus he has the guidance alongside Tenzan. So are we going to be seeing just him continue on with a singles action, or he's going to be tagging with Tenzin for the time being. So that way Tenzin can be kind of like a mentor to Watto. So anything can go either way, but so far I was pretty impressed with the match, and I give utter respect to Watto for putting up into one hell of a fight against the heel master himself. Anyway, y'all, so let's go ahead and move on to the fatal four-way match for the King of Pro Wrestling 2020. So you have is El Desperado versus Toru Yano versus Sanada versus Kazuchika Okada. So you have longer entrances, which I love it. Like, not too long, but like, long entrance. And then when you saw Yano came on, he was like really scared because we finally have pyro. But it's a smoke pyro, which it's pretty much more settling. But he come out, he was afraid of it. So that's kind of like a funny moment for that. Once everybody got into the ring, and when Okada did do his usual pose on the turnbuckle, that's when El Desperado and Sanada start attacking Yano with the stomp, and then once Okada got settled in, that's when he did the stomp, and of course, usual Yano saying, hold on, he wanted to attack and stuff, and of course, Yano being usual Yano wanted to do the dive, so he was about to do it until El Desperado did grab both of his legs and then continue on attacking him outside of the ring, so it was a lot of like whole back and forth action with each people, especially Yano with his usual antics, like removing the turnbuckle pads, of course. And then that's when Okada started doing the punk kick to Yano. So it's pretty much a kind of like, it's all over the place, but it was starting to get good. But the only thing I was very glued away is the face-off between Okada and Sanada. That's what I was here for. So after Sanada did the Paradise Lock to Yano, that's when you have this whole face-off with Okada began, and I was very amazed by it. So that's when Okada and Sanada did strike back and forth like fist to fist, and that's when Okada did the drop kick to Sanada, and then of course Sanada accidentally bumped into Yano, and that's when the Paradise Lock broke too. So a lot of back and forth action for all three guys, and then El Desperado did the frog splash to Okada and Sanada. While that was like during when Okada did do the submission hold to Sanada, and that's when Desperado broke with the frog splash, and then Desperado with the Pinche Loco for the 2 counts on Okada, which Pinche Loco means effing crazy or any other like bad words in Espanol for it, so I just wanted to disclaimer for that. So a lot of like back and forth with Okada and Desperado. So Okada with the drop kick, then he was about to do the money clip submission hold to El Desperado until El Desperado did grab the referee, which I don't know the name of the referee. The only referee I know is, of course, Red Shoe Umino. So he grabbed the ref, and that's when the ref was like slightly down, and out of nowhere, Yano, out of all people, Yano with the roll up and pick up a victory, y'all. Like, what in the hell is going on? Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, out of anyone that's gonna win the King of Pro Wrestling 2020, Yano won with a trophy. And what is pretty interesting about like having the King of Pro Wrestling 2020 as a second part of the match, like this is the first time I've seen Okada in a second tier of the match, which I'm pretty impressed, because normally with Okada he's either like having a match after intermission or mostly in the main event. So it's kind of like a logic that Okada may not win, but then at the same time, it could be either one of those three gentlemen too. But Yano, however, that's kind of like shocking. Overall, the match was good, but then I feel it's not as much of like seriousness when it comes to King of Pro Wrestling. I know the winner gets to receive the trophy, and I'm glad there's no title shot has been involved too. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see how it's going to go along the way, especially with Yano holding a trophy, which the trophy looks dope though. So, and it's just like now he has a title as the King of Pro Wrestling 2020. So we're going to be probably seeing Yano holding the trophy along with a disinfecting spray. I don't know what's going on, but overall, I think, let's just say this, y'all. I think this is kind of like sort of my least favorite match out of the card, but I'm going to get into that in a second. So I enjoyed it. It was pretty much more entertaining and comical, but the ending of it was pretty shocking. I just wanted to throw it out there, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next match that, honey, to quote Lovely T, the match that I've been waiting for a long time, which is the Never Openweight Championship match, which you have is representing LIJ, your champ, Shingo Takagi, versus representing Suzuki-gun, the Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki. Y'all, this is one wild match, you guys. And you could tell, like, once both gentlemen got into the ring, they were locking head at each other, like dead stare directly all together. It was like pretty much like they're ready to kill each other. So the match started off with Minoru start striking Shingo back and forth, and then he did a vertical suplex until Shingo got out of the ring, and that's when the whole brawl started to begin. So there's a lot of like striking going on, and that's when Shingo did the chop strike onto Minoru in the ring post, and then of course like both gentlemen got back in the ring. So a lot of going back and forth. You got Suzuki with the punt kick to Takagi, and then you have is like so many chops, and then with Shingo with the back suplex for 2 counts. More back and forth, like with submission hold and also the lariat. And then that's when Minoru did the real naked chokehold submission. And then he was about to do his first attempt to do the gotch style pile driver, but Shingo did counter and with like some strike, and that's when both gentlemen are down. And that's when Shingo did, then followed by Shingo did the clothesline for 2 counts. And then afterwards, like Shingo did the Made in Japan signature move for another 2 counts. A lot of like trying to counter strike for going on. It's like a lot of psychology going on, like determining for Shingo to just trying to retain the title off from like a very ruthless wrestler with so many like let's just say more dedication, but in a aggressive way too. And I was like very blown away. Anyway, so Shingo was about to do the last of the dragon until Minoru counter, and then he did strike on the back of Shingo's head, and then followed by a headbutt. Like, damn though, that headbutt was brutal. And then Minoru did another attempt to do the real naked choker until Takagi got out and then strike again. And then that's when Minoru did the drop kick. A lot of back and forth again. And then that's when Minoru took the advantage and did the last of the rear naked chokehold, and then followed by the gotch style pivot driver. And he picked up a victory, you guys. So Minoru Suzuki, the Angry Grandpa, is your new Never Openweight Champion. He definitely really deserved it. That match was freaking brutal as hell. Both guys shows a lot of aggression, a lot of agility. Minoru, like, being, like, the most ruthless wrestler out there, getting the title, and he finally did it. It is way overdue, and it's like now he got more of an opponent lined up, getting ready to challenge for the title, and I'm happy about it. And regarding with Shingo, I know he did put one hell of a fight. He definitely deserved it, but honestly, I feel that it's time for him to, well, like I said on the last episode of Into the Stratusphere, that I prefer seeing him in a tag team match, like having him being a tag team alongside Sanada, so that way they can continue on just That way they can continue on being a tag team for LIJ. So I think that will be something for Shingo to do, but for the time being, we'll be seeing what's going to happen next because we have the upcoming G1 climax that's going on. But man, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with like who's going to be the challenger for Minoru Suzuki. It could be anybody. It could be either Tomohiro Ishii, it could be Sho, or hell. And I know, like I said earlier, and I know it's going to be random AF, Master Wato, of course. I mean, looks like Wato may be feuding with Suzuki-gun again. I don't know. But if it's Wato versus Minoru Suzuki, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. But, anything can go. So, I mean, Minoru has open challenge to, like, anybody in all aspect. Or maybe a rematch against, I don't know, Blue Justice? That would be pretty dope. But anyway, y'all. So, with that being said, New Japan Pro Wrestling cut to intermission / disaffecting break. And you know what, y'all? Let's go ahead and do an intermission right here. So, we're going to be taking a quick commercial break, and we're going to be hearing from Brandon of Curveballs and Chair Shots.
What's up, everyone? It's Brandon. If you love sports and wrestling like I do, then check out my other podcast, Curveballs and Chair Shots. Every Friday, me and my illustrious co-host Dominic Hobson talk the biggest news from the MLB, NFL, NBA, and so much more. We also cover some things we don't talk about here on the Bulletcast, including a weekly NXT recap. You can listen to Curveballs and Chair Shots wherever you get your podcast. Just simply search Curveballs and Chair Shots. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, guys, we are back. And intermission is now over. We're going to go on to the next match, you guys, which is going to be the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match, which you have the current champ representing LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi, versus representing Bullet Club, Taiji Ishimori. That match was pretty fun, and especially giving more props to both Hiromu and Taiji for stepping up their game. And especially this is Hiromu's first junior heavyweight title defense since February too, because I know Hiromu was participating in the New Japan Cup, and plus he had like a title shot match against Evil for both the IWGP Intercontinental and the IWGP Heavyweight a couple weeks ago, back in July. And now he's like back to square one for the junior heavyweight. So it was a pretty good match overall. So start off with like Ishimori with a tilt war head scissor as Hiromu got off from the ring, and then you have it's like a lot of like brutal like outside of the ring action with Ishimori with that impressive dive, and then back in the ring, Ishimori did the 450 splash for a 2 count, and then followed by Hiromu did the head scissors, and then the right arm strike with a double leg drop to Ishimori, and then a lot of like back and forth action. It's kind of like they're testing their like agility and their strength within one another too. And then you have Hiromu with the Falcon Arrow for a 2 count, and then he did pick up Ishimori, but then Ishimori did counter and did the Dragon Rana, and then Hiromu with the Dynamite Plunger for a 2 count, followed by a second Dynamite Plunger again for the 2 count, and then Ishimori did with the head scissor, then to the label lock, which of course Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton said the yes lock. I call it the label lock. Don't want to like copyright infringe from WWE, but you know what? Screw it. Yes lock. There you go. So Ishimori did apply the yes lock until Hiromu escaped, and then that's when Ishimori did the buckle bomb, and then a lariat, and then 2 counts for it, and then Hiromu did what's about to do the time bomb, but then again 2 counts, and right when a lot of back and forth going on, Ishimori did the head scissors, then the label lock for one last time until Hiromu tapped. Taiji Ishimori is your new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And that was a pretty much a fun match overall. I was very impressed with how these guys did show their agilities, did show the determination. I'm very happy that now the junior heavyweight is now in switching hands because, as I stated on the last episode, Into the Stratusphere, I feel that it's time for Himuro to move up to the heavyweight division because he can have like more of an opportunity, more of a competition, especially when it comes to the IWGP tag team titles, also the IWGP Intercontinental or the heavyweight. So there's a lot of opportunity for Himuro within the division for it. So I feel that this is probably the last time we're going to be seeing Himuro being in the junior heavyweight division before going to the bigger heavyweight. But we'll be seeing what's going on like within the next couple days for the New Japan Road to the G1 Climax. And with Ishimori, so this is going to be like a lot of like possibly. However, I feel like with the junior heavyweight division in New Japan currently, I feel they need to like build up a little bit more because I know half of the roster are like stuck in their respective country due to the travel ban, so I can understand that. But we'll see who's going to be the next challenger for Ishimori. It's a lot of endless possibility. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and move on to the next match, you guys, which is going to be the IWGP Tag Team Championship match, which you have the current champ representing Suzuki-gun, Dangerous Tiger, consists of Taiji and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Golden Aces, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kota Ibushi. So, Kota Ibushi and Tanahashi comes out to a joint combo theme song. So the Golden Aces finally have like a theme song, and I was pretty impressed by it too. Like the guitar riff was on point. I know they don't over mix it with the combo theme, unlike the other company, which I digress. But it was so like it's kind of like more electrifying. Let's just say that for it too, and especially once the sun is already setting, getting into the nightfall is perfect. And then you have his Taiji coming out when the sun is like setting, doing his usual lip singing of his theme song. And of course, Zack Sabre Jr. come out and he saw like the pyro smoke and he was like giving his WTF face. So I was like laughing though. It was pretty hilarious. But yeah, you guys, I really like the presentation of the theme entrance. It was a little longer than expected and I love it, you know. Even though I do miss Miho Abe though, so, and I can understand that we haven't seen Miho nor Peter in like months, you know, but I understand just for safety precaution, like during this pandemic era. But we'll be seeing them like very soon, possibly next year. But yeah, anyway, let's go to move on to the for the match. So you have is Ibushi and Taishi scoring off until Zack Sabre Jr. made a surprise attack, and that's when Tanahashi got involved, and that's when like there was like more of like a tag team brawls into play, especially outside of the ring because of the animosity they've been having their feud for quite a while ever since the return of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So they've been going at it for a long time, and especially with the Dangerous Tiger winning the IWGP Tag Team Champion at Dominion. So this is like a rival in the making for like determined to get that IWGP Tag Team titles. Anyway, so Taiji did strangle Tanahashi with a cable cord while using his submission hold. And then you have his Ibushi with the shooting star press on Taiji for a 2 count. Taiji did his back and forth strike with him and Ibushi, and of course, the infamous, the pants. He took off his pants to reveal his usual ring trunk gear, and that's when he did the head kick to Ibushi, and then Ibushi also did a head kick, so it's like a back and forth. Tanahashi with the dragon screw kick to Zack Sabre Jr. And then Ibushi did hold Taiji as Tanahashi was about to do another attempt to the dragon screw. And then same thing to Zack Sabre Jr. Kind of like a tag team combo assistant. But it was pretty much a really interesting, like, dynamic with Tanahashi and Ibushi, like, working together alongside, especially, like, how much, like, they kind of, like, had, like, a despise to the Dangerous Tekker. Anyway, you guys, so Taishi was about to do a sling blade until Zack Sabre Jr. did counter with his signature submission, which it's hard to explain because there's like so many incredible submission from Zack Sabre Jr., especially him as being one of the best, I would say, best technical wrestler out there in the British wrestling scene. And he's very talented. You know, I give so much respect, so much props to Zack Sabre Jr. for that. And so while he was doing this impressive submission hold, Ibushi did stand there, and then he grabbed Zack Sabre Jr.'s hand and then start twisting it on the back of his hand. So, and just to make sure to break the submission, and then Taishi did grab the iron glove and was about to strike Ibushi, but then Ibushi did counter with the knee strike to it, and that's when Golden Aces did with the double arm drop to Zack Sabre Jr., and then Ibushi did dive to Taishi to make sure that Tanahashi got everything under control to try to pin Zack Sabre Jr. So Tanahashi did the frog splash until Zack Sabre Jr. did like dodge, and that's when Taishi did help Zack Sabre Jr. with the Zack LaFisto and pin Tanahashi. So Dangerous Tekker retains the IWGP Tag Team Champion. And I'm glad that this is going to be the ending of a longer feud between the Dangerous Tekker and the Golden Aces. I feel it's now time that we have more title opportunity for like each of the different units for tag team wise. Like I said, I would love to see Shingo Takagi tagging with Sonata or even Hiromu Takahashi to take out Dangerous Tekker to get the IWGP Tag Team Champion. That would be very impressive, especially like neither Hiromu nor Shingo had a tag team titles yet, like in the heavyweight division wise, you guys. So I think that would be something that's gonna be in the works, but I would love to see it either way. And regarding with Ibushi and Tanahashi, the question is, are we going to be seeing them continue on as a tag team, or we could see them as a single competitor? Well, I don't think we're going to be seeing them as a tag team for quite that long, especially we have is the upcoming G1 climax. So I think it's better off that they'll be going on in their separates, but that's just me, you guys. Anyway, so we're going to move on to this main event of this match, we're going to be taking a quick commercial break, and we're going to be hearing from Philip from Chicle TV.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Philip here. Look, there are so many channels out there on YouTube that do pranks and challenges and funny videos like That Just Happened TV, Nelk, and Love Live Serve. But why don't you look up Chicle TV? Yes, Chicle TV. CHIKLE TV. It is a channel I started with my buddy Vinny a couple years ago, and we've done wrestling finishers in public. He's done eating challenges. We've done pranks to people. It's a whole lot of fun. You know, when you go to YouTube, it is the thumbnail with the guy blowing the bubble. It says Chicle TV right in the bubble. And look, you know, just sit down, relax, hop on YouTube, look up Chicle TV, and...
Ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Crack open a little bit of the bubbly. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Chicle TV. Like, share, subscribe. It is the freshest channel on YouTube.
Alrighty, guys, we are back, and we're going to be talking about the main event match that took Nightfall, which is going to be for the IWGP Intercontinental Champion and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, which you have is the current champ representing Bullet Club, Evil, with the spoiler, Dick Togo, versus representing LIJ, Tatsuya Naito. So Naito did come out, and the pyro, instead of the smoke pyro, it's starting to have these sparklers on it, which that kind of like brings joy to it, because of like, I don't get me wrong, I love pyros, but I don't want to see the same like smoke pyro over and over again. I like something different. At least it's not fire. Thank God, it's just kind of like a fireworks of it, especially the safety of the baseball stadium. And yeah, so and then you have is Evil with Dick Togo coming out, of course, smoke pyro, the LED light, like bringing the darkness ambiance to it. And I must say, I'm so glad Evil did upgrade his ring gear. It looks much better, to be quite honest with you. Anyway, so as soon as that both gentlemen got settled in, Togo did shove Naito as Naito did throw him out of the ring, and that's when Evil did surprise attack him. And so Evil did attack Naito through the guardrail, and that's when they brawl out outside of the ring, and then out of nowhere, like there was confrontation between Togo and Naito, and then Evil did grab both chairs and he placed one of them on Naito's neck, and then he holds another chair, and that's when he strike Naito on the chair, and that was like a pretty brutal chair shot. Like, ouch, you guys. Yeah, like seriously. It's pretty brutal, but at least Naito's okay. And so once both competitors came back in the ring, that's when Naito did take a shot to Evil's midsection until Evil did push him and then did the clothesline. There's like so many back and forth action, especially with this like whole animosity. Like ever since Evil betrayed LIJ to join in Bullet Club at the New Japan Cup Finals, you could see there was like a built-up aggression from Naito and Evil, and Evil winning both of the titles at Dominion with the assistance from Dick Togo of all people. And it's something that's kind of like, I was having concern about going into the match. Like, are we going to be seeing like a clean finish, or are we going to be seeing like a dirty finish? Like, either way, like I really don't want to see like another dirty finish, especially from Evil, because I was expecting that Evil to finish the match in a clean state, but that was like kind of like what I can expect it to, but just wanted to throw that out there. So anyway, Naito with the swiping kick, and then he did a neck breaker off the apron. That's where both guys are down. And while both of the guys are down, Dick Togo did grab the water bottle, and then he poured on Evil's head just to make sure Evil is okay. So I'm glad that, Dick Togo is being the manager, is trying to care for the safety and well-being for Evil. So kind of mad respect for him. Yeah, and anyway, both guys are back in the ring, and then you have Naito with the Hurricane Rana for the 2 counts, Evil with the superplex on the turnbuckle for the 2 count. Then Evil was about to do the Darkness Fall 2 counts, and then Evil was about to do his first attempt for Everything is Evil until Naito countered with a DDT, and then that's when Naito with the Glorier then reverse DDT on the top turnbuckle for the 2 count. And then that's when, of course, when Evil was like continuing to strike Naito, when Naito was in the back of the rope, that's when Dick Togo did grab the chair and hit it, and that's when Evil was almost about to do the Everything is Evil finisher, but Naito countered it, and then a lot back for until Evil accidentally, well, you could say quote unquote accidentally shove Red Shoe Umino down, and so that's when the referee Red Shoe is down, and that's when Evil and Dick Togo did take the advantage and did the magic killer to Evil until until Bushi came in and started attacking Evil and Dick Togo just to help out Naito, and then that's when Gedo came in and attacked Bushi, and then do a lot of shenanigans going on with Naito, and that's when Evil grabbed the chair, and then he threw it to the ring, and then he started to take chair shot to Naito, while Dick Togo is strangling Naito while Evil was about to do another chair strike until Sanada came in and make the save by attacking not only Evil to Dick Togo to Gedo, and then Bushi got involved too by attacking Gedo. So it's like a lot of interference going on with both stables just to make sure the match is played fair and square while Red Shoe is down of all people. But once everybody brawled out and went back to the locker room, that's when Naito was about to the drop kick, and then he did the forearm, and then he did the swinging DDT for the 2 count after Red Shoe got up while Naito did the swinging DDT. Just want to let y'all know. And then, of course, Evil was about to grab Red Shoe. While Red Shoe was not looking, he did the low blow again to Naito, and then a lariat for the 2 counts. Yeah, you guys, like, I was kind of concerned about the fact that, like, we're going to be seeing another, like, unclean finish from Evil, just like at Dominion. I was, like, hoping not to, but nope, you guys. Naito did the Inspirasa, Valentino, and then Destino. 1, 2, 3. Tetsuya Naito is your new IWGP Intercontinental and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I must say, you guys, I was very well impressed with this match. And no lie, this is pretty much better than their match at Dominion. I was very impressed with how everything turns out, minus the whole interference from Dick Togo. And then, like, some of the interference, like, from Gato, Bushi, and Sonata. But I can understand why, because they wanted to make sure that the match is, like, fair and square. I just wish that, like, there should be, like, less of an interference, or, like, more into, like, you know, a proper standoff for it. But I can understand why. But overall, it was a very impressive match. I was very blown away up from it. I can understand why there has to be a title change, because for a fact that, like, Evil was getting criticized from a couple of people being like, how come Evil is being a champion, like, it's too soon for him to put a title and whatnot. Like, seeing Evil trying to be the champion, and he only defend the title, I think just once against Hiromu Takahashi, it can be seems like overwhelming, and especially like most of the time, like he has like an assistant from Dick Togo with like an unclean finish, so I can understand that like they wanted to have like a new champion. The only person out there that can like switch the title is Naito though, so I think that is like the proper booking decision from New Japan Pro Wrestling to have Naito having the title back. My only thing is, I just hope that Naito can hold on to both of the titles for a long time. Like, I know that his first title loss at Dominion, it kind of loses a bit of a credibility, but I'm glad he did bounce back to win back what is his, is both of the IWGP Heavyweight and the IC title. So I'm very happy with the outcome of it. Afterwards, he did cut a speech talking about everybody is out there, like, even though they cannot cheer, but they could cheer from the heart. But if there's anybody at home, they can cheer it out loud. So he did a very genuine speech, and then he did the roll call, the LIJ roll call: Bushi, Sonata, Hiromu, Shingo, Naito. We are Los Ingobernables de Japón, which I cannot pronounce the Ingobernables part. So, yeah, forgive me, because I always say LIJ. But yeah, and so once he did finish the infamous roll call, fireworks has been setting, and that is the perfect ending to the Summer Struggle tour at Jingu Stadium. I was very impressed with the presentation. The match itself was pretty good. I would say this, the match of the night, after seeing all this, I honestly say the match of the night would have to be the Never Openweight Championship match between Shingo Takagi versus Minoru Suzuki. That was a brutal, heavy-hitting match. And I was very impressed. And also, let's see, the tag team match for the IWGP Tag Team Champion, I was very impressed. It was better than Dominion, of course, especially the finisher, because I wasn't even the fan of the finisher at Dominion because it was slow paced. But then now with Zack Sabre Jr. and Taiji, with the Zack LeFesto finisher, it actually sets the high caliber going. And I was blown away. So it actually did lead into my expectation for it. The main event match, I was very impressed by it. Like I said, not too fan of the whole interference going on, but it was a well put together main event. Iwgp Junior Heavyweight Champion, I was impressed by it. It was fun, entertainment. Props to both of these guys showing the high altitude. And then Master Wato versus Yoshimura Kamaru. It was a hot opening of the match. The ending was pretty questionable, and not sure what's going to happen next with Master Wato. And then lastly, like the King of Pro Wrestling 2020, it was pretty, entertaining. It was pretty fun, but I was not impressed with the outcome of this match altogether. But hey, it's just classic Yano together. So you guys, I actually did like the top, like from main event all the way down to like my least favorite match, you guys. So top part, Minoru Suzuki versus Shingo Takagi, of course, the Never Openweight Championship, and then the bottom would be the King of Pro Wrestling 2020 Fatal 4-Way match, you guys. And so for my thumbs up, thumbs down of this, the matches was pretty good. Some of them was very questionable. Some of them were shocking to expect. And some of the matches, they did impress with the improvement, especially compared to Dominion. I'm going to have to say this. I'm going to give a generous 1.5 thumbs up. They did a really impressive job, even though there is questionable motive when it comes to the King of Pro Wrestling 2020, and also like what is the outcome for Master Wato after his loss to Yoshinobu Kanemaru. It was actually incredible, and I'm glad that New Japan Pro Wrestling, after 21 years, going back to Jingu Stadium, and it feels like a way to end the summer season, you guys. Like, watching the show together, it gave me like a whole summer vibe, especially in a baseball stadium, which is one of my favorite sports besides basketball. But yeah, you guys, I was really blown away. New Japan Pro Wrestling did an incredible job, and I cannot wait for the G1 climax, you guys. So anyway, y'all, with that being said, that is it for the recap for New Japan Pro Wrestling Summer Struggle Finals at Jingu Stadium, you guys. I'm very looking forward to the G1 climax and everything what New Japan Pro Wrestling is all about. So yeah, you guys. So if you guys wanted to send DMs, like feedback, your thoughts of the show, and etc., and please be nice when it comes to constructive criticism. Don't be rude. Feel free to DM me on Twitter and Instagram. And I also have a YouTube channel, so make sure to follow me at simply_C_OK. That's simply_C_OK. And also, I gotta make sure to put some plug with like the affiliation that I am part of, and also, of course, Bulletcast too. So, affiliation, make sure to follow Teddy Turnbuckle of WrestleJoy. So make sure to follow Teddy Turnbuckle on Twitter and on YouTube channel. Make sure to follow WrestleJoy on Twitter, YouTube channel, and the website at WrestleJoy.com. Also, make sure to follow NoDQ.com for the latest news in WWE, AEW, and other wrestling-related news on Twitter, Instagram, and on the YouTube channel at NoDQDOTCOM.com, and check out the website. And lastly, you guys, make sure to follow the Bulletcast on all social media platforms, and also on podcast platform, which is Anchor FM, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast platform, and follow on social media at the Bulletcast on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel, or simply Bulletcast, you guys. Alright, guys, with that being said, I gotta finish up getting ready to go to work, you guys. So I don't know when the podcast will be up, so I hope you guys are caught up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know there's some of you guys are going to be watching it later on, because there's no way in hell you guys can watch it like way early in the morning, you guys. Alright, guys, so with that being said, just please remember to wash your hands between 20 to 30 seconds, practice social distancing, wear your mask or any other face covering, No excuses, and please remember, be kind to one another. We're all in this together. Cheers, y'all.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.